You know, I spent 4 years with a great team running your army. And I got a little bit of advice in that job, but it's amazing how much advice I get in the one I have now. I want to tell you a story. First of all, Ambassador, thank you for being here, and thanks for the great work you and your team have done, and will always do in terms of articulating the needs, especially of a far-reaching, visionary Canada that is resurgent. But let me tell you a story. Let me set the scene for a young Canadian about to join the armed forces. There's a bit of friction and sort of a nexus, a confluence of activities and tensions between either good or bad, Russia, China, and the US. Bit of friction on some trade issues involving steel and aluminum and cars. Economy's doing really well, though. One of the leaders in the G7, the unemployment rate pretty low. The trade volumes have increased year over year. Our education has produced a viable workforce, and our soldiers have a reputation second to none. The equipment is pretty good. Relatively new tanks are being used wherever I'm about to talk about. Relatively new guns, relatively new armored personnel carriers. And so this young Canadian joins the Canadian Armed Forces, goes through superb training, deploys overseas, and gets to go and work as part of an integrated battle group, helping European friends face off a resurgent bear, this growly. And here we are. Of course, you know I'm talking about 1980, right? I'm talking about me when I joined. So the wheel keeps ticking around that old clock. 1980, here we are. Now, the geopolitical context and the nexus of change is accelerating, but there's eerie similarities between what happened then and now. So in 1980, which is pre-NAFTA, there were some squabbles. In 1980, don't forget what was going on between Russia, China, and the United States. In 1980s, don't forget that the Russians were very adept at using, I'm going to get it wrong, Eleanor. By the way, of the 4 people on stage, I've worked for 3 of them, either academically as part of a soldier or whatever else I was doing in life. They're adept at intimidation, using cyber attack. Of course, the precursor to that was videos of all sorts of unpleasant things or listening to your phones. And it was called Mastrovoika. Eleanor, can you help me out here? There's a Russian... Thank you. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is this is a very timely discussion, but there's lots of lessons to be learned from history. Not international history, our history. There's lots of good lessons we can extract and learn from to help us better help those who need our help. 3 helps in 1 sentence. And right now, it is those border states with Russia with which we seek to constrain a bear. I was also going to mention as part of my introductory remarks, oh, and by the way, Russia had recently invaded a country, but I thought amongst the historians, you'd get it right away, because of course that was Afghanistan. This last time's around, in the recent past, of course, Russia invaded Ukraine and elsewhere. So thank you for what you do. We can contribute. We are contributing. We're not going anywhere. We believe in what we're doing in Latvia. We believe in actually the NATO alliance. And we're going to be there for those countries that need us most. We're not shy about deploying. Our troops are well equipped. They are superbly trained. And they're full of resolve. And they're doing a great job training others in the region who are part of that integrated battle group in the larger command structure. And we're a friend and ally you can rely on.